Veins used for IV injections. First about the veins of upper extremity. First part that we can use for IV access is anterior forearm. This is the anterior aspect of the forearm. Three main veins of the antecubital fossa: cephalic, basilic, median cubital are frequently used. This is the antecubital fossa. There are three veins: median cubital vein, cephalic vein, and basilic vein. These are the three main veins used frequently for IV injection. These veins are usually large, easy to find, and accommodating for larger IV catheters. So they are considered as the ideal site for administration of large amount of fluids. However, there is a drawback. The bending of the elbow can be uncomfortable to the patient and may occlude the flow of intravenous solution. In the upper extremity, we can use the anterior forearm for venous access. The veins used include basilic vein, median cubital vein, and cephalic vein in the antecubital fossa, and also antebrachial vein in the forearm. These veins are large, easy to find, and accommodate large IV catheters. So these are the ideal sites for IV fluid administration. The drawback is it can cause prevention of bending of elbow, which can be uncomfortable to the patient. When the patient bends the elbow, it may occlude the flow of intravenous solution. In the upper extremity, we can also use dorsal aspect of the hand. This is the dorsal aspect of the hand, and the blue colored vessels are the veins in the dorsal aspect of the hand. We can see here the basilic vein, the cephalic vein, the dorsal venous arch, the metacarpal vein, and the digital vein for IV access. Then there is a point called a student's or intern's vein. This is the cephalic vein. The student's or intern's vein is the cephalic vein near the radial styloid. Here is a bony prominence of the radius that is called a radial styloid. Near to the radial styloid, the cephalic vein is considered as the student's vein or intern's vein because it is often large, straight vein and it is easy to cannulate. These are the veins of the dorsal hand: basilic vein, cephalic vein called a student's or intern's vein, dorsal venous arch, metacarpal veins, and digital veins for IV cannulation. Then coming to the lower extremity, in the lower extremity we can use the great saphenous vein in the medial side. The lateral side we have lesser saphenous vein. Both of them unite together to form dorsal venous arch with several unnamed veins. These are the unnamed veins. So these veins can be used for venous cannulation in the lower extremity. Then it is not the ideal because it is very painful. It is very more discomfortable to the patient. Additionally, when IV catheters are placed in the feet, they are likely to become infected, not to flow properly, and it can cause phlebitis. Phlebitis is the inflammation of the vein. This is not the ideal place for cannulation because it is painful. It can cause more discomfort to the patient. Then it can get infected, not to flow properly, and more likely to cause infection of the vein called phlebitis. So in case the veins in the hands are not available, we can use the veins for IV cannulation. These include great saphenous vein, lesser saphenous vein, dorsal venous arch with several other unnamed vessels. In the neonates, for vascular access, we can use a vein called umbilical vein. This is the picture of umbilical vein with the catheter in place. This is the umbilical vein, the procedure of catheter insertion. This large vessel with a large diameter is umbilical vein. Other two vessels are umbilical arteries. This can be used in the neonates for vein access. In infants, In addition to the veins of upper extremity and lower extremity, we can use scalp veins. The scalp veins that are commonly used include superficial temporal vein, frontal vein, and a posterior auricular vein. This is a picture of IV cannula with a superficial temporal vein that can be used in infants. Then, so far we have discussed about the peripheral IV access, upper extremity, lower extremity, umbilical vein and a scalp vein. Let us see about the central venous lines. These are catheters commonly placed in what are called central venous catheters. These are catheters commonly placed in these veins, that is internal jugular vein in the neck, subclavian or axillary vein in the chest, femoral vein in the groin, or some veins in the arms. They are called a peripherally inserted central catheter. The veins that are used in the arms are brachial vein and a median cubital vein, also cephalic vein. So when a catheter is placed into these veins, they are called as central venous lines. So in the neck, we can use internal jugular vein. In the chest, subclavian vein or axillary vein. Then in the groin, we can use femoral vein. Then in the arms, we can use cephalic vein, brachial vein or a median cubital vein. Then that catheter is called a peripherally inserted central catheter. This is the picture of catheter in place in the internal jugular vein. So whenever we insert a catheter into the central veins or central line, it goes straight away into the superior vena cava. Central lines include external jugular vein, internal jugular vein, subclavian vein, then axillary vein, cephalic vein, median cubital vein and a brachial vein. That is in brief about different veins for IV injections. Thanks for your patient listening.